Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive deep into pranayama.
Always ready for a good breath exploration.
So we're taking on Breath Becomes Life, Pranayama, the Yoga of Breathing by Rishi Eric Infanti.
It's a pretty comprehensive look at the practice, going beyond just the breathing exercises.
I'll admit, pranayama's always felt a bit mysterious to me. Like I know it's important, but not sure where to even start.
Well, that's the beauty of a deep dive like this, right? We have to unpack it together.
Exactly. So before we jump in, what are your initial thoughts on pranayama?
Well, I think a lot of people approach it with a sense of like awe or even a little intimidation.
Oh, for sure.
But this book does a great job of making it feel accessible. Like it demystifies it.
Okay, I like that. Demystifying pranayama. So let's start with the basics, right? What exactly is prana?
Prana. It's this universal life force, the energy that flows through all living things.
Right, I've heard it described as vital energy.
Exactly. It's the energy that keeps us going, keeps us alive.
Yeah. So pranayama is about harnessing that energy through breath.
Exactly. It's about consciously controlling and cultivating prana through specific breathing techniques.
And the book emphasizes it's not just about physical stuff, right? Like flexibility.
No, not at all. It impacts your whole well-being, mental, emotional, spiritual.
I noticed the book gets into the anatomy of breathing, too. All those parts we don't usually think about.
Oh, yeah, like the diaphragm, the lungs, even the intercostal muscles.
It goes deep. One thing that caught my eye was the concept of residual air. What's that all about?
So residual air is the air that stays in your lungs even after you exhale.
Huh. Interesting. Why is that important?
Well, deeper breathing techniques, the kind you practice in pranayama, can help reduce that residual air.
Okay, but what's the benefit of having less air hanging out in there?
It creates space for a greater exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. More fresh air in, more stale air out.
It's like a reset for the respiratory system.
Exactly. And that can lead to more energy, mental clarity, all sorts of good things.
I'm already liking where this is going. The book also talks about respiratory minute volume.
Yeah, that's basically the amount of air you breathe in and out in a minute.
And it ties that to how fast or slow we breathe, right?
Your respiratory rate. It's connected to your overall health and even your emotional state.
Like if you're stressed, you might take short, quick breaths.
Exactly. And just by slowing down your breathing, you can actually start to feel calmer.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Before we get too far, the book mentions the 8 limbs of yoga. Pranayama is number 4, right?
Right. It's helpful to see where it fits within the broader framework of yoga.
So break it down for me. What are these, Clay?
8 limbs.
Okay, so first you have the yamas, ethical guidelines for how you interact with the world.
Okay, like being honest and nonviolent.
Exactly. Then you have the niyamas, more about self-discipline and inner observances.
Got it. So first you work on your mind and behavior, then the
Right.
physical stuff.
Next comes asana, the physical postures.
The stuff most people think of when they hear yoga. Right. And it's through asana that you prepare for pranayama, the control of breath.
So it's all connected. What comes after pranayama?
Then you have pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses,
Interesting.
followed by dharana, concentration. Then dhyana, which is meditation.
Okay, so it's getting more and more internal.
Right. And finally, you reach samadhi, enlightenment or bliss.
Wow. Okay, that's quite the journey. Back to pranayama specifically, we've talked about prana as this life force. But the book breaks it down further, right, into 5 major pranas.
Yeah, the 5 vayus, it's like prana has different departments, each with its own function.
So tell me about these vayus.
Okay, so apana vayu governs the lower abdomen, responsible for elimination.
Elimination.
Getting rid of waste.
Ah, got it. What about the other vayus?
Well, pranavayu focuses on the chest area, governing respiration. Udanavayu in the throat governs speech and mental energy.
Okay, so that's 3. What about the other 2?
Samanavayu is located in the abdomen, responsible for digestion, both physical and mental.
Oh, interesting. So it helps us process things, literally and figuratively.
Exactly. And finally, there's Vyana Vayu, which circulates throughout the entire body, governing circulation and movement.
So it keeps things flowing. What happens if these vayus get out of balance?
That's where things can go wrong. Imbalances can manifest as physical or mental health issues.
I could see how that would make sense. Now, this is all fascinating, but is there actual science behind it?
Absolutely. This book does a great job of bridging ancient wisdom with modern science.
Give me an example.
Well, it explains how pranayama can influence your nervous system, like by activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the one that calms you down.
Uh-huh.
It can actually slow your heart rate and reduce those stress hormones.
So it's not just a feeling. There are real changes happening in the body.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just the nervous system. The book also explores how pranayama affects the endocrine system.
The endocrine system. That's hormones, right?
Yes. Hormones play such a crucial role in our overall well-being.
And the book suggests pranayama can regulate hormones.
It does, and even goes as far as suggesting it can potentially reverse signs of aging.
Whoa, hold on. Reverse aging.
It's a bold claim for sure, but it explores the potential mechanisms behind it.
Okay, I'm definitely intrigued. Anything else about the science behind pranayama?
Well, it also talks about the cardiovascular system, explaining how pranayama can improve blood flow and oxygenation.
So it's good for the heart, too.
Hmm.
We've covered the what and why of pranayama. Now I'm ready for the how. Does the book actually teach you breathing techniques?
Oh, absolutely. It outlines a variety of techniques designed for specific purposes.
Like a toolbox of breaths.
Exactly. And we'll dive into those in the next part of our deep dive.
Can't wait. Any hints about what kind of techniques we'll be exploring?
Well, we've got techniques for calming the mind, techniques for boosting energy, techniques for improving sleep, you name it.
This is all sounding way more practical than I initially thought.
And the best part is pranayama is something you can do anytime, anywhere.
Just gotta remember to breathe.
Exactly. So stay tuned as we explore the how-to of pranayama in our next part.
Can't wait. See you soon.
See you then.
All right, welcome back to our pranayama deep dive. We've talked about the concepts, the science, even those bandhas and mudras.
Now let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah, let's breathe.
Yeah.
So the book actually gives instructions for different techniques.
It does. And it's organized really well, Starts simple, gets more advanced as you go.
Perfect for beginners like me.
Yeah.
Where should we start?
Well, alternate nostril breathing, or nadi shodhana, is a great foundation.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one. You close one nostril, breathe through the other, then swish.
That's it. And the book gives step-by-step instructions. It's all about finding a smooth, even rhythm.
It mentions a variation too, anulom viloom. Similar, but no holding your breath between switches.
Right, anulom viloom keeps the breath flowing. Good if you're just starting out or find holding your breath tricky.
Both of those are supposed to balance energy in the body.
Yeah, brings a sense of calm, mental clarity.
And good for stress reduction, which, hey, we were talking about aging earlier.
Exactly. Managing stress is key for healthy aging.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so alternate nostril breathing, good for calm and balance. What if you need energy, like a boost?
For that, you've got Kapalabhati pranayama. It's called the cleansing breath.
Oh, the one with the forceful exhales?
Yeah. Short exhales through the nose, then passive inhales. It's more active, energizing.
Like our breath espresso shot.
Exactly. Clears out the respiratory system, wakes you up, even helps with digestion.
Good to know. But probably not on a full stomach.
Probably not, no. Now we've got calming breaths, energizing breaths. What about when you need to cool down? Like literally.
Oh, interesting.
The book talks about Shikali pranayama, the cooling breath. You curl your tongue and breathe through it.
Wait, make a tube with your tongue?
Yeah. It sounds weird, but it really works to lower body temperature.
Huh. I'd have to try that. So hot weather or when you're feeling overheated, mentally even?
Yeah, it calms the mind, too. Supposed to be good for managing anger, bringing tranquility.
Good to have in your arsenal. The book also talks about Brahmari pranayama, the humming bee breath.
Oh, yeah, that one's super soothing. You close your ears and hum gently while you exhale.
I'm feeling relaxed just thinking about it.
It creates this vibration that's calming for the brain, helps with anxiety, insomnia, even headaches.
Okay, those sound doable. Now, the book does mention some advanced techniques.
It does. Like Plavini pranayama supposedly lets you float on water.
What? Float on water? How's that even possible?
You gulp air into your stomach. Sounds intense.
Yeah, maybe not for beginners.
Definitely not. Book says only try it with an experienced teacher. Safety first.
Good point. What about the other one, Murcha pranayama?
That one's about holding your breath for a long time. To the point of almost fainting.
Whoa, intense.
Yeah, again, not for beginners. Only experienced yogis with proper supervision.
So respecting your limits is important.
Absolutely. Now remember those bandhas? The energy locks.
Yeah, we talked about those earlier.
The book explains how to actually see them during pranayama.
Oh, cool.
Like Mula Bandha, engaging the pelvic floor muscles, is often used. It grounds and stabilizes energy.
So it's like anchoring your breath.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Then there's Jalantara Bandha, the chin lock.
I remember that one.
You do it after inhaling, creates gentle pressure on the thyroid gland, regulates prana flow in the head.
So using bandhas is like directing the effects of pranayama.
Exactly. But again, the book emphasizes not pushing too hard. Find that sweet spot.
Listen to your body. What about the mudras, the hand gestures? How do those fit in?
Mudras can be used in different ways, like holding a specific mudra while you do a breathing technique can enhance it.
With an extra boost.
Yeah, it's about finding what works for you. Experiment.
I like that. It's all about personalizing the practice. As we've been talking, is there anything that stood out to you? Any technique or concept you're particularly interested in?
I'm really fascinated by the interplay between the energizing techniques and the cooling ones.
Oh, that's interesting. Why?
It shows how pranayama can address so many different needs, like having a whole range of options depending on what you need in the moment.
That's a great way to put it. What about you? Anything resonating with you?
I'm really drawn to the idea of the bandhas, like how a subtle muscular action can impact energy flow.
It really highlights that connection between the physical and energetic body,
Yeah.
right?
And it makes you realize how much control we have over our inner state.
Absolutely.
Sure.
So as we wrap up this part, let's leave our listener with something to think about.
Okay, I like it.
Imagine having the power to shift your energy, calm your mind, just by choosing a specific way to breathe.
Powerful stuff.
What if you could access that power anytime with just a few breaths?
It's an invitation to explore, to experiment, to discover what pranayama can do for you.
Exactly. Stay tuned for the last part of our deep dive. We'll talk about creating your own pranayama practice.
And how to make it a part of your everyday life.
That's right. See you soon.
And we're back. Final part of our pranayama journey. Time to bring it all together.
Yeah, we've covered a lot. But now, how do we actually make pranayama a part of our lives?
Well, the book's got some great advice on creating a personal practice. It all starts with the right environment.
So, like, do I need to join a yoga studio?
No, not necessarily. It's more about finding a space where you feel comfortable,
Somewhere you can focus, no distractions,
Exactly. Could be a quiet corner at home, a spot in nature.
even your car and your lunch break, maybe.
The point is to create a little sanctuary for your breath.
I like that. A breath sanctuary. Okay, so found my spot. What's next?
The book talks about setting intentions. Before you start, think about what you want to get out of it.
Oh, okay. So, like, am I looking for stress relief? Better sleep.
Yeah. Or maybe more focus, clarity, a sense of peace.
It's like giving your practice a direction, a purpose.
Exactly. And remember, we talked about pranayama and aging, setting an intention to cultivate inner peace, manage stress.
That could be really powerful for healthy aging.
Right. Okay. So you've got your space, your intent. Now what?
Now it's about making time, scheduling it in.
Consistency is key. Right.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Even a few minutes each day can make a difference.
The book suggests actually putting it in your calendar, like an appointment.
I love that. An appointment with yourself makes it a priority.
Speaking of making it a habit, the book mentions a 30-day pranayama challenge.
Oh, yeah, that's a great way to jumpstart a practice.
What's it all about?
It guides you through different techniques, starting simple, building up as you go.
Because like a structured program helps you build that discipline.
Exactly. And it's a good way to, really experience the benefits firsthand. See what pranayama can do.
30 days could really shift things, I bet. Now, for choosing specific techniques, does the book recommend a certain routine?
It's more about like choosing based on your needs in that moment, how you're feeling.
Oh, okay. So like if I'm stressed, I might do the alternate nostril breathing.
Exactly. But if you need energy, maybe Kapalabhati pranayama, the cleansing breath.
And if I can't sleep, that left nostril breathing we talked about. There you go. It's like having a whole toolkit of breath techniques ready to use whenever you need them.
It's about personalizing it, finding what works best for you.
Right. And the cool thing is it can change day to day. One day you might need calming breaths, the next day, energizing.
It's about listening to your body.
And the book's big on that, respecting your limits, not pushing too hard.
Yeah, if something feels uncomfortable, back off.
Exactly. This isn't about like winning a breathing contest. It's about awareness, being mindful.
It's a journey, not a race.
Well said. Enjoy the process. Celebrate those little victories.
As we wrap up, what's standing out to you about building a personal practice?
I love this idea of pranayama becoming like a way of life, not just something you do on a yoga mat.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Well, the book talks about how the awareness you develop through pranayama can impact other areas of your life.
So, like, the calmness you cultivate might help you handle stressful situations better.
Exactly. Or the energy boost might inspire you to go after your goals.
It's like taking the lessons of the breath and applying them to everything.
That's it. Approaching life with more presence, more intention.
It's a beautiful thought. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners as we close out our pranayama deep dive?
Imagine the power of just a few minutes each day dedicated to conscious breathing.
It's amazing to think how much impact that can have.
Imagine how those ripples spread out, affecting your whole being. It's an invitation to explore, to experience the benefits for yourself.
And remember, it all starts with a single breath.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. We hope you feel inspired to explore pranayama and discover what it can do for you.
Until next time, keep breathing deeply, consciously.
And may your breath guide you toward greater well-being and inner peace.